Hello, you're watching TelecomTV. We're joining in from Barcelona for the Mobile World Congress, and now I'm joined by Shekar Ayyar, the CEO and chairman of Arrcus, to talk about their latest announcements and partnerships that they're unveiling here. Hi, thank you very much for speaking to us today.
Thank you for having me here.
So firstly, can you tell us how you are going to revolutionize 5G networking and why now?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you think about what's happening right here on the floor with 5G, there are a couple of other trends alongside the move to 5G that are very pertinent. So one, for example, is cloud networking. And in the space of cloud networking, a lot of the companies are now starting to use more than one cloud. So multi-cloud networking is becoming really popular. And then the third trend that's going on alongside is edge computing. A lot of the computing is actually getting distributed to the edges. So if you look at 5G, what is happening in terms of multi-cloud networking as well as edge computing, the industry needs one common networking fabric that extends along all these dimensions for new applications to be created on top of that. This is the innovation that we have now come up with at Arrcus using our platform stack called ACE, and that's what we are bringing to Mobile World Congress this year.
And how is this relevant to communications and cloud players, and why would they start using Arrcus?
Yeah, so if you think about the communication service providers, telecom carriers, as well as cloud providers, there are certain areas that they have managed to economize in a good way. One is, for example, how the move to the cloud has provided shared computing facilities. The use of what's called NFV or network functions virtualization has led to a cloud-like infrastructure for core functions. Then with O-RAN, the radio access network has been virtualized. But there is still one big pocket of capital and operational spend that carriers and cloud providers are engaged in, which is called the transport network. And in this transport network, you have a lot of switches and routers, and these are traditionally provided by large incumbent providers. I mean, people like Cisco and Juniper and Arista. And the problem with this mode of operation in the transport network is that these are all very expensive gear. They are very difficult to program, to modify, and to create new applications on top of. And that is exactly where Arrcus comes in and says, we're going to take that transport network, make it a lot more agile and software defined. And this is going to give both top line as well as bottom line benefits for carriers and cloud providers.
And you have already made a few announcements leading up to MWC, and you are going to make a few more in the next few days.
Yes.
So can you share a bit more about them?
Yeah, absolutely. So we started out actually leading into MWC with our first announcement being the work that we are doing with SoftBank. SoftBank, as you know, is a big Japanese carrier. And what they have done is they have innovated in the space of mobile user plane or MUP to use a technology called SRv6 or segment routing v6 in partnership with Arrcus, where we are using this technology to make their 5G network both agile, programmable, but also in a way in which they can deliver new functions like network slicing on top of this network. So we made that announcement. We're also demonstrating it here at the show, along with partners like Elisa Polystar, that are helping us on the orchestration front. Now, that's sort of the first announcement. Then following that, we talked about our partnership with telco cloud providers like VMware and IBM Red Hat. And those are all examples of how Arrcus is collaborating with that telco cloud ecosystem to bring the best networking platform to our customers. Additionally, earlier this morning, we also announced our partnerships with AWS and Equinix. And in each of these cases, you can see how the Arrcus solution can be operated in a cloud on top of these cloud infrastructures so that we make this multi-cloud networking value proposition real. And then we have a couple more announcements coming up tomorrow, which we will hold our breath for. But these are ones where we are going to show how processor vendors can benefit from Arrcus in terms of their us as the operating system on top of the processors underneath.
And can you share a bit more about these innovative collaborations that you have with industry partners?
Yeah, so it is very clear that when you go in and try to disrupt something like networking, no single vendor can do it alone, right? You've got to really build a nice partnership, and this is the basis of building a very elaborate and tight platform. So think about Arrcus as the platform that is going to disrupt networking, but then think about all our partners as plugging in and as building solutions around us. We have actually created a program called PACE for Partner with ACE or Partner with Arrcus Connected Edge. And what that allows us to do is we provide APIs for our partners to then go in and build solutions, services, network functions on top of our network operating system. And this is what is leading us to now go and deploy new solutions for the market. And so we have a number of customers, partners that are building those solutions. We also have partners like UFI Space and EdgeCore, and they are white box networking vendors. They build the hardware layer that is underneath Arrcus whenever a customer wants to deploy a switch or a router. And so these are all examples of our partners.
And how is ACE platform different from rivals, and how is it going to revolutionize 5G from edge to multi-cloud?
Yeah, so think about ACE as a highly differentiated capability and very flexible, the industry's most flexible software networking platform for transport that goes all the way from switching to routing. It can be consolidated or distributed, so it can work either in a consolidated cloud or at the edges. It can also be on-premise or off-premise. And furthermore, the data and control planes can be separated, and each of these things can be either distributed or consolidated. So this is a tremendous amount of flexibility that we bring both to our carrier partners, cloud partners, as well as to our enterprise customers. And we are supremely unique in our capability to building a platform with one single operating system that can do all of these functions, and that can be both consolidated as well as distributed.
Thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thank you for having me here.